Hey guys, and welcome. Today we're going to be covering all the news in Halo for the past week, going into the next week. But the news in Halo has been pretty bland the past couple of weeks, to be honest. That's the reason why there's not been a Halo Weekly for the past 2 weeks. Nothing has happened as per usual, so it shouldn't be a huge one today.
That's what she said!
But we'll do our best to cover everything that's in the news. Our first story of today, the Tenrai event is back. For what feels like the 12th time now. This is the 5th out of the 6th time the event will be back leading up to the launch of Season 2 in May, and I'm very excited for the new season. Just give me a reason to want to play Halo again, really. As right now, even the new Tenrai event doesn't give me that drive. The Halo show aired on the 24th of March, and it wasn't awful.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit!
Despite the director literally saying that they didn't refer to the game at all, like, why would they tell us that before it releases? I thought they did a pretty good job, to be honest. The overall community thoughts on the show are rather it's great or meh. But for me, I loved it either way, to be honest. It pulled me in, and I'm buzzing for the next episode, which is apparently a filler episode, so my hopes aren't very high. Now, onto something pretty exciting, to be honest. Some news to expect in Season 2, and some of the reasons why 343 just haven't really communicated to us in the past couple of months. So, listen to this.
It's challenging to always be constantly open and transparent with fans because we don't want to expose them to the uncertainty and sometimes that churn that happens on any game development process. The decision we're making, though, and I believe this is the right one, even though it's hard some days, is to make sure that when we talk to our fans that they can rely on what we say. Fans are really soon going to be exposed to some really cool stuff that we've got going on for Season 2. It's taken a little bit longer to get the engine up to speed. Communication's flowing in the way that we want to, but the engine is cranking, and I'm super excited about the next year and beyond.
Now, the first thing Joe mentioned within this interview was obviously communication, the lack of it, and how important it is at key stages in development of this game. Now, granted, recent communications with 343 have been awful. The Twitter accounts are active, the Halo ones, the HCS ones, the Halo support ones, but they're not giving us the information that we all want, and that is, of course, new content. But the reason for that is, and the one that Joe mentioned in the short interview, was that they're just not ready to be announced yet, which is unfortunate, and as I'm sure a lot of people have an issue with this in the comments, but that's the only reason why we've had nothing in the past couple of months. There's nothing that's ready yet. Joe did then go on to say that this content is of course being worked on as we speak right now, but they don't want to release a half-baked product. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of people commenting down below that Halo Infinite is half-baked, that it has no content, they should have delayed it, etc. And I'm kind of in that category in some aspects. I feel like if the game was to be delayed another year and it added things like Forge, actual working custom games in theatre, and all of these other things within multiplayer like a progression system and things, then yeah, delay it an extra year and then let's play it when it's all there. But you can't sit there and say right now that Halo Infinite is half-baked in terms of polish and gameplay. In terms of content it is. Polish and gameplay, the game for me is a 10 out of 10. Going back to 2020, looking at the version that was shown to us in E3 and the one that we had that campaign reveal trailer of, essentially, that game was the definition of half-baked. Popping in textures, graphics that just didn't resemble next-gen Halo, and it just did not look very good and a good representation for the Xbox Series X. No one can sit there and tell me that Halo Infinite, when it released, was not well polished and well done for the time that they had to develop it and the issues they had in development. Personally, in my opinion, I thought the campaign was flawless in terms of there being no bugs, the graphics were absolutely great, and the gameplay was 10 out of 10. Yes, the content was lacking and there's a lot of unanswered questions and missing key characters that I did think that we probably would have seen in the campaign in general, but the level of polish was next to nothing we have out right now or that came out in that year. But on the other hand, I agree with the other side of the pond. Halo Infinite's 10 out of 10 gameplay is not strong enough to retain a higher player count, and that's due to it missing so many key features and content. I can almost guarantee if this game had a progression system, good challenges, good armor unlocks, with there being lack of game modes, Forge and all of these other modes, I can guarantee this game would have almost carried itself up until Season 2 with no problem whatsoever. But because we have literally the bare minimum, there's nothing that we can do to satisfy our needs until the content does come, and I think that's where the community is getting at. The gameplay itself is perfect pretty much, but everything around it isn't latching onto it and making it that more finalized product. But the main reason we don't have constant communication right now is because even 343 don't know when this content is going to be ready to ship. Putting out a roadmap early is a risky thing to do, right? If you almost promise a date to the consumers and then it's delayed again and again, it's only going to cause more chaos, and that has been proven in the past. And we don't want a rushed piece of content. Even though we are lacking it right now, we don't want 343 to rush it and for it to be half-baked when it comes out. I mean, take Battlefield and Cyberpunk, for example. I know we refer back to this example a lot, and a lot of people are going to say, leave it, it's happened now, but it's so true. The beta for Battlefield came out, and the whole community said this game needs to be delayed. They delayed it for an extra month, and it still came out pretty worse than what the beta was. Whereas 343 took the criticism on board from a trailer, not even a beta, and they delayed the game an entire year to try and make do with what they had and make what they had as best as they could. And to be honest, I thought they did a good job with what they had done. Now, yes, 343 should definitely still be communicating with us, and I firmly stand by the people that think that because it's 100% right. The reason why this game is what it is because of the community and what we build as a community, the strength of the community, and just how much we love Halo. Without that communication and lack of understanding of what's coming next, when things potentially are coming, why things are delayed, then that's where the community starts to get frustrated, and that's where the audiences leave the game. I felt like if 343 were to release a monthly or even bi-weekly article with what is coming and the updates around them and even the issues that they're encountering trying to implement them. The good thing about that is as well that community feedback is a good thing. If we read something and we don't really like the sound of it because it's going in the wrong direction, then the community can feed back on it. If we like something and we think it's going to make Halo Infinite a better game, we can agree and even add parts to it as well. For me, I like the idea of a bi-weekly article. I don't think it's ever going to happen until we do get the roadmap. I think once we do get this content after we get it, that's when we'll start to receive more regular updates and content from 343, and maybe even the monthly Q&As like they used to do will come back onto live streamed onto the Halo YouTube channel. So that would be interesting if they did that. And even the canon fodders are also a nice touch. Radio silence just doesn't do anyone any good, especially the community that are trying to enjoy this game with no content. And it doesn't help that 343 are getting backlash and pretty much shit on really on Twitter every single day by the community, asking them when we're gonna get the next update. Now, I'm not defending 343's approach at all to this. I do think that communication is needed, and I think the lack of it has been pretty appalling, to be honest, in some sense, and there's better ways around this. But it is kind of understandable why they're trying to take this approach. Now, you're probably thinking I'm contradicting myself massively in this video, and if you think that, then fair enough. But I'm trying to give the best opinion possible from each side of the story here. So from the consumer side that are happy, the consumer side that are not very happy, and then also 343 and their thoughts as well. So this is pretty much all of those mashed into one, and this is kind of the consensus of what's happening. So I'm covering all angles here. Now, the cool thing about this article as well is that Joe mentioned that Season 2 has a lot of content that we've not been told about yet. Last month or so, we got our first look into Season 2 and the content to expect really coming in Season 2. So we had 2 new maps, 1 new Big Team Battle map and 1 new Arena map, a few new modes here and there, King of the Hill was coming back, and I think 1 or 2 other new ones as well. But it didn't really seem like a lot to kickstart a brand new season. So maybe a lot more content is in the pipeline. Now, of course, we're going to have different events and things like we are in Season 1 with like Tenrai and all of those other ones. So they'll be coming back in Season 2 as well. But in terms of actual maps, content, weapons, vehicles, maybe we'll get more of those coming in Season 2 as well to make us look forward to the mode and the season a little bit more. It's also apparent that in this interview, Joseph Staten mentions the timescale soon a lot. This is the only sense of time we have in this interview and the only sense of time that we know from when this new update might actually be coming. I do think that this will be here next month. I think we'll get the roadmap next month, and I think we'll get some more insights into Season 2 next month. And here's my thinking behind this. May is typically the month where a lot of game announcements really happen. For example, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the new Call of Duty for this year, will be announced on the 30th of May. So I can only imagine May is a sweet spot for Infinite as well, to a month to keep the hype and to get the announcements rolling in. I also think a couple of other titles will probably be announced in May as well this year, And going into, say, June, July, or August or so, we're also going to have events like E3 and other gaming events. So we'll probably get more teasers into campaign DLC, hopefully. Other events and things coming to Halo Infinite as well, which would be cool. So yeah, keep an eye on May. I think May will be a good month for Halo Infinite in terms of an announcement of when things are coming. So keep an eye on this space. It could turn out to be true. But what do you guys think overall? The Halo community has a lot of optimistic members, like myself. And I know this game will be amazing from a year from now, but at this very time, and probably for the next 6 to 7 months, the other side of the community will not give this game a break until the content is out and there, and until 343 change their approach. And to be honest, rightly so. 343 need to see this backlash, and I'm hoping that it will help them change their minds about the approach they're taking with this game. Really, 343 have had 3 massive titles before Halo Infinite, and each one of them have had their own very controversial decisions made. Obviously, we have Halo 4, Halo 5, and MCC. With MCC, how long did it take them to fix the game and actually support it before they gave a damn about it? I'm hoping that doesn't go the same way that Infinite's going to go. However, time will only tell, and don't even get me started on campaign DLC. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Drop a like if you have. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below as per usual. As mentioned, you may think I'm contradicting myself in this video, but I'm only trying to give each side of the story a bit of time to just essentially just discuss what they're thinking in a sense. So yeah, I hope I explained it well. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on this. But guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Speak soon and take care.